The Wichita State University Campus of Applied Sciences and Technologies 54th commencement ceremony is now open. Please remain standing while the national anthem is performed by Caleb Faust, Jake Segrist, Matt Weber, and Troy Fisher.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, land of the free, and the home of the brave.
Wow. Thank you, and you may be seated. Thank you, gentlemen, very, very much. Really, that was beautiful. We're going to take just a moment before we start tonight to honor a very legendary individual at Wichita State University, a man that had great vision, was a true innovator, and had a true love for education. He believed in education so deeply. Wichita State University has never seen a more effective, vibrant agent of change than Dr. John Bardo. From the first days of his presidency, he began to outline the path to a bold, audacious new future for this university and the city of Wichita. WSU President John Bardo died March 12, 2019, after a long illness. In his nearly 7 years leading WSU, Dr. Bardo strategically and physically transformed the university, and he set us on an exciting course of innovation and creativity. This same bold leadership was portrayed to create the affiliation with Wichita Area Technical College, which introduced the newly rebranded Wichita State University Campus of Applied Sciences and Technology, and as you know it, WSU Tech. He was an incredible leader. He was an incredible colleague. He was my boss, and I dearly loved him. And we are sitting here tonight in Koch Arena having the first graduation commencement ceremony as WSU Tech because of his leadership. He will be greatly missed. His visionary legacy will carry on in the work that will continue to be done to provide higher education to this community, applied learning for students, and research to maintain us as a globally competitive environment for all of our industries. His legacy will also live on in leadership to grow the Kansas economy in workforce development that supports economic impact and improves the quality of lives for everyone. I would like to ask if we could take a moment of silence and remember Dr. John Bardo at this time. Please join me. Thank you.
So if he was here, he would say it's time to celebrate and have some fun. So that's what we're going to do. Good evening, 2019 graduates, family, friends, and special guests. On behalf of the board and the administration, it is a pleasure to welcome you to WSU Tech's 54th commencement ceremony and the first ceremony officially as WSU Tech. My name is Dr. Scott Lucas, and I serve as the Vice President for Career and Technical Education. We want to thank you for attending this ceremony to honor the graduates of 2019. We are very proud of these graduates who have worked hard to get to this milestone in their lives. These graduates are here this evening because they have met the graduation requirements for their program and are now ready to either enter the workforce or enter the next phase of their education. Thank you for coming this evening to celebrate the achievements of our graduates. We are proud to honor our graduates who are active duty military or veterans and thank them for their service to our country. All active duty, National Guard, Reserve, and military veterans are wearing red, white, and blue cords that signify the appreciation WSU Tech has for our military and veteran students. Would our military and veteran students, staff, and faculty please stand to be recognized? We would also like to recognize our graduates that competed at the Skills USA competition in April. We are proud to announce that WSU Tech students earned 29 medals overall, including 14 gold medals, 11 silver medals, and 5 bronze medals. These stellar results highlight the dedication, drive, and determination of our students and their outstanding faculty that are providing coaching, guidance, teaching, and learning. Could the Skills USA competitors and their faculty advisors please stand to be recognized? We would also like to recognize a special group of students who are graduating with their high school diploma and a certificate or degree from WSU Tech at the same time. These students have taken full advantage of the Excel in Career and Technical Education program and dual credit courses offered through the partnerships with all of our local high schools and are now ready to enter the workforce or continue their next phase of education. Could our high school graduates please stand to be recognized for this accomplishment? At this time, I would like to introduce the participants seated on the stage. Please stand and be recognized as I call your name, and please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. Lyndon Wells, the former Division Director of Public Affairs for Entrust Bank and Chair of the Colleges Board, the Wichita State University Campus of Applied Sciences and Technology Industry Advisory Board. Dr. Sherry Utash, President, WSU Tech. Our commencement speaker, Shelley Pritchard. Pam Doyle, Vice President for General Education and Health Sciences, and Justin Pfeiffer, Vice President, Student Services. Also seated on the floor and in the audience is a group of people who work hard each and every day to ensure student success. They are members of our faculty and staff. Would all the faculty and staff of WSU Tech please stand and be recognized? And now I'd like to introduce this evening's student speaker. Thomas Buchanan is a student in the Surgical Technology program and will be graduating tonight with his associate's degree and a 4.0 grade point average. After graduation, he plans to work as a surgical technologist while continuing his education at Wichita State University as he pursues a pre-medicine biological sciences degree. Thomas hopes to attend the University of Kansas School of Medicine and become a surgeon. It's my pleasure. Please join me in welcoming Thomas Buchanan.
Thank you, everyone. What an honor to be here. A little over 4 years ago, I was looking down at a tray with a dead, preserved cat in it. My teacher at the front of the room said, "All right, everyone, pick up your scalpels and start cutting into them." Oddly enough, I didn't second guess him, and now I'm working in surgery. Crazy how that all works out. But my origin story is a little bit cooler than that. I was actually a student who struggled academically for most of my high school career. And just for reference, my cumulative GPA at the end of my freshman year was a whopping 1.8. Thankfully, though, my junior year, I did a complete 180. Over the last couple of years, I'd had to tell myself a lot of things to keep that same motivation up. But one thing has always stuck with me. Never be stagnant, always be moving forward. When I started off in high school, I obviously had no idea what I wanted to do. My grades were just awful across the board. Thankfully, though, like I said, in my junior year, I took that very first anatomy class, and I decided I wanted to go into healthcare field. Cat and frog dissections were, strangely enough, my most favorite part of the class. And I knew immediately that I wanted to get into the very competitive field of surgery. So for the first time in my life, I was motivated enough to get straight A's. And after high school graduation, I didn't necessarily beat myself up about ruining my chances of getting into an Ivy League college on academic scholarship. But instead, I took it as my very first hard-hitting life lesson. My lack of action really does have consequences. Instead, I focused on how I could better myself in this moment. So I ambitiously started my college career working towards my associates in surgical tech. And one of the biggest influences in my life recently reached out to me and said the words that I've been telling myself for years. "Thomas, I'm proud of you. You've always kept moving forward, and you've never been stagnant." Hearing it out loud, I thought, it really sounds like something off like a motivational Facebook page that's been shared like 1,000,000 times, but jokes aside, when you hear someone you have a genuine connection with say that to you, you really take it to heart. And for the last couple of months, I've been constantly repeating those exact words to myself. Because after tonight, honestly, we're all gonna be set back to level 1. We're gonna be starting new jobs in an unfamiliar environment, possibly pursuing another degree, finding whatever our next goal is. Hopefully we've all learned some things on our journeys. Personally, I now know that staying up late to take full advantage of that 11:59 deadline is not the brightest idea. I also know that no amount of Monster Energy can compensate for lost sleep. And I also know that ice cream tastes a lot better after a really long, stressful day. But I also know that hard work really does pay off. So my goal from here on out is to continue moving forward, to never stay stagnant. I refuse to to waste any more time. And I encourage you all to make similar goals as we go forward. We're now just minutes away from graduating, though, and we're going to be finally receiving our very hard-earned degrees, starting the next chapter in our lives. But I'm just a guy up here throwing a bunch of words at you. Most of you won't remember me. In fact, some of you might not even remember this entire ceremony. Regardless of if you're just going through the motions right now, I want to challenge you. We all have an origin, and we all have a motivator, so use it. Never forget where you come from. Never be stagnant in your chase. Always keep moving forward, and always, always, always remember your cat and the tray moment. Thank you.
Great job, Thomas, and thank you. At this time, I'm pleased to introduce our commencement speaker. Shelley Pritchard is the president and CEO of the Wichita Community Foundation. At the Community Foundation, which manages more than $80 million in assets, Shelley interacts with donors to help them direct their charitable giving. She also works with prospective fund holders, nonprofits, and works to connect funders with organizations doing good work in Wichita. Prior to the Community Foundation, Shelley was the CEO of the Girl Scouts of Kansas Heartland, serving 80 counties in Kansas and managing the business merger of 7 Girl Scout councils. Shelley grew up on a farm outside of Newton, Kansas, and earned a degree in journalism and mass communications from Kansas State University. She spent several years moving throughout the Midwest, working for a variety of companies, all with ties to marketing and communications. Some stops included the Indianapolis Zoo, the Illinois Board of Regents, and Kansas Wesleyan University in Salina. Shelley returned home in 1994 to work in public affairs at Koch Industries. Her job at Koch led to a position as the Executive Director of Youth Entrepreneurs of Kansas. Shelley and the Wichita Community Foundation have been key partners with WSU Tech in the launch and success of the Wichita Promise Move program, which has moved nearly 100 students to Wichita, trained them, and helped them find employment in the aviation industry here in Wichita. Some of you are here in the crowd tonight. Please join me in welcoming Shelley Pritchard.
Seek greatness. So this could be the shortest speech ever, right? I do have a few more things I'd like to share with you, but tonight I would like to challenge you to seek greatness. You have achieved a noteworthy accomplishment by being here tonight to receive your certificate or your degree with the help of teachers, administrators, and your fellow students. And now there's the responsibility of seeking greatness is shifting from their help to you. I was thrilled when Dr. Utash asked me to speak to you this evening, so thank you, Sherry. I'm honored to be a part of this evening. And she would never tell you this. Do you know what an amazing woman leads this organization? Sherry was recently appointed to a national task force by President Trump, and whatever you think of his politics, it's a big dang deal to get a presidential appointment. Congratulations, Sherry. And thank you, Lindy, and to the advisory board of WSU Tech for creating the environment to help students learn, to grow, and to become the kind of people who are going to be a very important cog of the economic drivers for our city and our state. It's an amazing school, and it's been just so interesting to see it grow and change under Sherry's leadership and with Lindy and the board's leadership. So now back to your new goal of seeking greatness. By completing this degree, you have changed the course of your life. Thomas talked about his plans and what he hopes to do and his challenges for you. So there are about 1,000 students graduating in this session. So that's 1,000 more people who are filling the millions of technical jobs that are available across our country, and 1,000 more people seeking greatness. You have the certificate, the degree, the tools that you need, but now you have to use them. You're good at solving problems, you know how to use your hands. Now take those skills that you've learned and transfer it how to use your head. As you approach challenges and new things come your way, remember how you sit down, you figure it out, call Sherry, call your teachers, they can help you through that as well. But now it's your job to move forward, to transfer those skills in problem solving. So we watch a lot of basketball at my house, and I hadn't thought about it, that I'm going to talk a lot about basketball tonight here in Charles Cook Arena, so that's kind of fun. But we watch a lot of basketball at my house. And this year there were some really interesting final moments of games. And the announcers kept talking about how the special plays that the coaches and the teams practice and practice and practice. So come tournament time, they're ready. And you can do that special inbounds play to get the ball past the 7-foot guy, or sink the three-pointer when it's, when you have to have 3 points to win, or which guy to foul who's a really bad free throw shooter to make sure that, he doesn't score any extra points for the other team. So coaches teach and players practice, and that's what you've all been doing. Your teachers have been coaching and teaching you, and you've been practicing in the classroom, and now those skills transfer to your next role. So you heard in my bio that I have a degree in journalism from Kansas State. So I've only had one job that I would say is a real journalism job, and that was right out of college. And I'm one of those people, I loved book learning. My GPA was a little different than Thomas's. I love to study. I'm the geek who would want to write papers and stuff like that. The book learning was great, but it's really the practical application of those skills that have helped me be successful in my career. My last year at K-State, I got an internship at the Alumni Association, which was a really great place to work. I worked on the Alumni Magazine. We took the magazine to the printer, and then my boss actually left town. She went on vacation to Brazil for 2 weeks. Well, the printer called, and there was a problem. And so I went down there to talk to him, and he wanted to take a shortcut that I knew my boss wouldn't be pleased with. But more importantly, the shortcut wouldn't have presented our best work to our readers. So I said no. I'm a 21-year-old kid arguing with this 50-year-old printer who's been doing this forever, and I said no. We have to do the original plan, and it still has to be mailed on time. We did, and it ended up being a really great product. That was one of the best professional experiences I've ever had. There is no way I could have learned that in the classroom. I had to actually learn that in the situation. And then so I graduated from K-State. My first job was for an international agriculture publishing company in Kansas City. A very prominent family in the community ran the publishing company. I'd been there about a month, so by this time I'm about 22, and I walked outside one day after work, and the owner's son, who worked for the magazines and was just a couple years older than I was standing there looking at his car, scratching his head. He had a flat tire, and he said, "I don't know what to do." And so remember, I'm 22, not really very many filters, and I said, "Change your tire, come on, guy." And he clearly had no idea how to do it. So I put down my bag, and I got down there, and I showed him how to change his tire. The best part was when his dad and grandpa, who founded the company, walked out. His grandpa thought it was hilarious, and his dad was clearly embarrassed that this brand new 22-year-old new hire woman had to teach his son how to change his tire. Clearly, he didn't quite get the practical learning that I had. But that's how I was able to change that tire and argue with that printer, was the practical upbringing that I had. I'm one of 3 girls. You heard I grew up on a farm just north of Newton. I was one of 3 girls, and my dad was a veterinarian. So all the vet techs, shout out to you. And that's what I thought I was going to be until I had a very influential high school journalism teacher, who I'm still good friends with. So Dad worked 60 or 70 hours a week. I can weld. I'm not near as good as you all who are getting your certificates in that tonight. I can vaccinate calves. I can do all the things farm kids do. So do we have other farm kids in the crowd tonight, students and guests, farm kids? Okay. So we know we can outwork all these city kids any day, right? Yeah. So growing up on the farm, when we came up against a problem or something that we didn't know how to do, we just did it. We just figured it out. And it was so interesting to think that all along my dad was teaching us on this road to greatness, you just figure it out. You don't know what you don't know, but you figure it out. And I'm so thankful that I was raised that way. Now, if you've had a chance to spend any time around Dr. Utash, she's probably talked to you about building your brand. Right, Sherry? It doesn't have to be pages and pages. It can be a couple of words. But that's something that you have to define, that we all have to define. Because if you don't define that, somebody else may do that for you. And your brand can also be defined by a situation that you're in. So make sure that you create the brand that you want to have. So I want you all to visualize something with me. Imagine what you looked like in 5th grade. So you probably had bad hair, maybe teeth that were a little bit too big for your face, and if you were like me, clothes your mother made for you. So I'm 54 now, but I'm 5'10", 5'10" tall, and I've been this tall since I was in 5th grade. So imagine my 5th grade class picture. Here's me, here's the teacher, here's the rest of the kids. It was horrible. It was really horrible. I didn't fit in the desks. You know, I would slouch so that I didn't stick out so badly. But eventually, I embraced that gigantic girl when I stepped onto a basketball court. Needless to say, I made the all-star team every single year. One tournament I played in, the second day, the officials made my mom bring my birth certificate because they thought I was just the dumb girl who failed a lot of years of school. Not the case. But on that basketball court, I found my brand. I found my greatness, and I lived in that space for a long, long time. And now every once in a while, I can even surprise a few of the neighbor kids in a game of horse. So it was a pretty good place to be. I hope this degree and this certificate takes you to find that place of greatness and helps you build your brand. Too often, we let other people define our brand. People put a lot of silly pictures in our heads about what's right. We let the world or people tell us who we should be, how we should act, what we have to do to conform. I was listening to a radio show a few weeks ago, and the speaker said this: there is a net loss to keeping things inside. You spend energy trying to be something you are not. Never apologize for who you are. You may not meet some people's expectations, but that's their problem, not yours. Now, I'm not talking about your boss. You got to do what your boss tells you to do. So go write your own story. Give yourself permission to be the people that you are. Think about what an impact that has on your emotional health, your physical well-being, and your family's happiness. So in other words, go seek your own brand of greatness. Of course, life is going to kick you in the teeth sometimes. I got a call from my mom when I was a junior at K-State. My dad had been in a bad wreck. 2 weeks later, he died. As you can imagine, that singular incident caused me to completely refocus. My whole life had to pivot. I had to help my mom. I had to help her take care of my little sister. I had to finish school. I had to work through that grief. Somebody's going to break your heart, but then somebody else is going to come along and not only repair it, but make it better. You're not going to get a job you want. You're going to get passed up for a promotion. You might even get fired. I hope you never do. But if you do get fired, remember how great you are and just keep going. Work through the grief, the sadness, the anger, the disappointment, and your greatness will be even stronger. You have to be nimble. You have to change. I think the word change has kind of become a cliche. I think the word evolve is really appropriate. Change, grow, evolve, seek greatness. That's what you've done, and that's why we're here tonight celebrating you. So I know you all have supportive teachers. We recognize them. Graduates, your success tonight validates their life choice. By you succeeding, that you prove to them that this was the right decision and that you're worth it. Do you have children or stepchildren? Your success validates your success. You are now a role model for them. You're teaching them about work, completion, study, and success. Do you have siblings? You're their inspiration now, and they will share in your joy of accomplishment. Do you have friends here tonight with you? They're very proud of you, but really they've seen the greatness in you all along. Think about your parents, your grandparents, or that neighbor who helped raise you. By being here tonight, you confirmed their decision to devote so much time and energy to you. The money, the tears, the frustration, tonight proves to them that you were worth the investment. Now, all those people that are here, make sure you tell them thank you. A minute ago, I referenced my high school journalism teacher who shifted my entire career. She's going to come this summer. She lives in North Carolina. She's coming to spend a few days with us. She's forever my friend. Before I make major life decisions, I call her and she helps me work through it. Make sure you let the people who influence you and help you know how much they mean to you. So with your accomplishment, now you're ready to take the reins as a leader for your family, at work, of yourself. Now you own that responsibility to support other people. And remember, whatever comes next, that action is better than perfect. Action is better than perfect. Sometimes fear gets in the way of fear of getting it wrong, or fear of failing gets in the way of even trying, but you have to try, and it'll be fine in the end somehow. And you're already on the path to greatness, and you'll get there. So author Marianne Williamson sums this up well. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Your playing small does not serve the world. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. Your search for greatness leads others to greatness. Tonight is a celebration of all you have accomplished and a nod by you to all that is to come. Good luck on your journey to greatness.
Thank you, Shelley, for those inspiring words. It's now time for the conferring of degrees. Will the graduates please rise? President Utash, upon the recommendation of the faculty at the Wichita State University Campus of Applied Sciences and Technology, I am pleased to present to you for graduation the class of 2019. I hereby certify that the members of this class are candidates for the Associate of Applied Science degree, the College Technical Certificate, and the College Certificate of Completion, as prescribed by the Kansas Board of Regents and by the college's Industry Advisory Board.
Vice President Doyle, I accept the graduates of 2019 and with the authority vested in me by the Kansas Board of Regents and as president of Wichita State University Campus of Applied Sciences and Technology, I hereby certify their certificates and degrees. Would the first row of graduates please come forward and the rest of you please be seated.
Receiving an Associate of Applied Science and Technical Certificate in Surgical Technology, Thomas Buchanan. Associate of Applied Science, Surgical Technology, Michaela Carter. Associates of Applied Science, Surgical Technology, Ashley Eustace. Associate of Applied Science and Technical Certificate, Surgical Technology, Rebecca Cunningham. Technical Certificate, Surgical Technology, Reagan Watkins. Technical Certificate, Surgical Technology, Stephanie Alferez. Associate of Applied Science, Surgical Technology, Kimberly DeGrado. Associates of Applied Science, Surgical Technology, Amanda Mildfelt. Technical Certificate, Surgical Technology, Christian Martinez. Associate of Applied Science and Technical Certificate, Surgical Technology, Carrie Stout. Associate of Applied Science, Surgical Technology, Allison Tiratilli. Associate of Applied Science, Surgical Technology, Kristen Walker. Associate of Applied Science and Technical Certificate, Surgical Technology, Michelle Dickin. Technical Certificate, Surgical Technology, Reagan Pratt. Associate of Applied Science, Surgical Technology, Abby Stulsatz. Associate of Applied Science, Surgical Technology, Vanessa Souders. Associate of Applied Science and Technical Certificate, Surgical Technology, Whitney McMillan. Associate of Applied Science, Surgical Technology, Kelsey Hendricks. Technical Certificate, Surgical Technology, Jamie Daniels. Associate of Applied Science and Technical Certificate, Surgical Technology, Faith Bailey. Associate of Applied Science, Surgical Technology, Michelle Crownover. Technical Certificate, Dental Assisting, Kendall Jolene Sims. Associate of Applied Science, Dental Assistant, Aubrey Henderson. Associate of Applied Science and Technical Certificate, Dental Assistant, Desiree Mears. Associate of Applied Science, Dental Assistant, Patricia Converse. Technical Certificate, Dental Assistant, Aurora Rocha. Associate of Applied Science, Dental Assistant, Estefania Banalas Prieto. Associate of Applied Science, Dental Assistant, Yvette Rosales. Associate of Applied Science, Dental Assistant, Liliana Fuentes. Associate of Applied Science, Dental Assistant, Guadalupe Fernandez. Associate of Applied Science, Dental Assistant, Sheena Torcios. Associate of Applied Science, Dental Assistant, Manuel Torres. Associate of Applied Science, Dental Assistant, Jada Reyes. Associate of Applied Science, Dental Assistant, Darien Burgess. Associate of Applied Science and Technical Certificate, Dental Assistant, Denise Garcia. Okay. Technical Certificate, Dental Assistant, Cassie Curran. Technical Certificate, Dental Assistant, Shane Hoyle. Associate of Applied Science, Veterinary Technician, Daniel Casey. Associate of Applied Science, Veterinary Technician, Array Naden. Associate of Applied Science, Veterinary Technician, Fernanda Cabarjal. Associate of Applied Science, Veterinary Technician, Jacqueline Betson. Associate of Applied Science, Veterinary Technician, Priscilla Solis. Associate of Applied Science, Veterinary Technician, Melissa Partridge. Associate of Applied Science, Veterinary Technician, Drew Cooley. Associate of Applied Science, Veterinary Technician, Cassandra Gestel. Associate of Applied Science, Veterinary Technician, Cassandra Oots. Associate of Applied Science, Veterinary Technician, Taylor Turnus. Associate of Applied Science, Veterinary Technician, Samantha Schmidt. Associate of Applied Science, Veterinary Technician, Chelsea Upton. Associate of Applied Science, Veterinary Technician, Jill Watson. Associate of Applied Science, Healthcare Administration and Management, Megan Lynn Johnson. Associate of Applied Science, Healthcare Administration and Management, Deborah Elizabeth Lowe. Associate of Applied Science, Healthcare Administration and Management, Victoria Colvins. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Elizabeth Luvido. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Martha Ngalawa. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Melanie Clemens. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Wamda Ali. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Valerie Norton. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Naomi Renee Jansen Jack. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Latrice Cook. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Deshayla Williams. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Mishak Oching. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Hannah Holden. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Brianna Willis. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Sarah Martinez Aguilas. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Fernanda Gallegos. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Natalie Ibarra. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Maisha Moore. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Pamela Delgadillo. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Danisha Williams. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Alyssa Chappelle. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Natasha Thompson. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Michelle Ward. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Mariah Glanville. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Jamie Bouchard. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Suma Jayawarna. Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Charlene Johnson. Associate of Applied Science, Healthcare Administration and Management, and Technical Certificate, Practical Nurse, Helen Aguiar. Associate of Applied Science, Interior Design, and Technical Certificate, Kitchen and Bath Design, Melissa McIntosh. Associate of Applied Science, Interior Design, and Technical Certificate, Kitchen and Bath Design, Claudia Atondo. Associate of Applied Science, Information Technology Systems, Jacob Forster. Associate of Applied Science, Information Technology Systems, Tristan Gubitz. Associate of Applied Science, Information Technology Systems, Stephen McCollum. Associate of Applied Science, Information Technology Systems, Landon Conyers. Associate of Applied Science, Information Technology Systems, Alex Gallegos. Associate of Applied Science, Information Technology Systems, Bobby Goller. Associate of Applied Science, Technical Studies, Talitra McCoy. Technical Certificate, Construction Science, Cale Titus. Technical Certificate, Climate and Energy Control Technologies, Cody Carnes. Technical Certificate, Climate and Energy Control Technologies, Jamal Diggs. Associate of Applied Science, Climate and Energy Control Technologies, Evan Schwimmer. Associate of Applied Science and Technical Certificate, Climate and Energy Control Technologies, Delbert Riley. Technical Certificate, Climate and Energy Control Technologies, and Silver Medal in Skills USA, Noah Browning. Associate of Applied Science, Climate and Energy Control Technologies, Christopher Pacheco. Associate of Applied Science, Automotive Service Technology, Colin McClary. Technical Certificate, Automotive Service Technology, Antonio Cruz. Associate of Applied Science, Automotive Service Technology, Mason Barber. Technical Certificate, Automotive Service Technology, Aubrey George. Associate of Applied Science, Automotive Service Technology, Jose de la Torre. Technical Certificate, Automotive Service Technology, Joseph Vieira. Associate of Applied Science, Automotive Service Technology, Eduardo Ortiz. Associate of Applied Science, Automotive Service Technology, David Rivas. Associate of Applied Science, Operations Management and Supervision, Bryce Manis. Associate of Applied Science, Operations Management and Supervision, Jared Johnson. Associate of Applied Science, Operations Management and Supervision, Martin Harding. Associate of Applied Science, Business Administration, Joshua Arnold. Associate of Applied Science, Business Administration, Karen Alfaro. Associate of Applied Science, Administrative Office Technology, Shayla Wynn. Associate of Applied Science, Engineering, Design, Technology, Lenny Rose. Associate of Applied Science and Technical Certificate, Engineering, Design, Technology, Joshua Johnson. Associate of Applied Science and Technical Certificate, Engineering, Design, Technology, Matthew Fitch. Associate of Applied Science, Engineering, Design, Technology, Morgan McLeod. Associate of Applied Science and Technical Certificate, Engineering, Design, Technology, Ryan Williams. Associate of Applied Science, Construction Science and Engineering, Design, Technology, Caleb Garner. Associate of Applied Science, Engineering, Design, Technology, Kelby Palmer. Associate of Applied Science and Technical Certificate, Engineering, Design, Technology, Todd Parmenter. Associate of Applied Science, Architectural Design Technology, Sarah Chrismore. Associate of Applied Science, Architectural Design Technology, Chelsea Walker. Associate of Applied Science, Architectural Design Technology, Morgan Weber. Associate of Applied Science, Welding, Caden Clem. Technical Certificate, Welding and Welding Fast Track, Logan Evans. Technical Certificate, Welding and Welding Fast Track, Alexander Abdul Ayev. Technical Certificate, Welding and Welding Fast Track, Kobe Grijalva. Technical Certificate, Welding and Welding Fast Track, Garrett Willert. Technical Certificate, Welding and Welding Fast Track, David Sherman. Technical Certificate, Welding and Welding Fast Track, Samuel Roosevelt. Technical Certificate, Welding, Kevin Balderrama. Associate of Applied Science, Welding, Trevor Geist. Technical Certificate, Welding, Chasen Arroyo. Associate of Applied Science, Welding, David Salazar Garcia. Associate of Applied Science and Technical Certificate, Welding, Zachary Beeman. Associate of Applied Science, Robotics, and Technical Certificate, Basic and Advanced Robotics Technology, Jaden Baird. Technical Certificate, CNC Operator and Composite Fabrication Technology, Braden Clark. Technical Certificate, CNC Operator, Trevor Unrein. Technical Certificate, CNC Operator, Philip Backus. Technical Certificate, CNC Operator, Vanita Witherspoon. Technical Certificate, CNC Operator, Christopher Crabtree. Technical Certificate, CNC Machining, Ellis Hardyway. Technical Certificate, CNC Operator and Machining Technology, Skills USA Gold Medal, Kale Wong. Technical Certificate, CNC Operator, Garrett Kepler. Technical Certificate, CNC Machining, Allah Ibrahim. Technical Certificate, CNC Operator, Clifton Walther. Technical Certificate, CNC Operator, Stephanie Gonzalez. Technical Certificate, CNC Operator, Melody Dudley. Technical Certificate, CNC Operator, Miranda Kinsley. Technical Certificate, CNC Operator, Jesse Minot. Technical Certificate, Process Mechanic Painter, Bernicia Caper. Technical Certificate, Process Mechanic Painter, Zakir Jones. Technical certificate, process mechanic painter, Romar Talley. Technical certificate, process mechanic painter, Robert Talley. Technical certificate, process mechanic painter, Mardavy Howard. Technical certificate, process mechanic painter, Tammy York. Technical certificate, process mechanic painter, Ricky Taylor. Technical certificate, process mechanic painter, Jacqueline Cadman. Technical certificate, process mechanic painter, Jessica Forcucci. Technical certificate, process mechanic painter, Onel Delorby. Technical certificate, process mechanic painter, Alex Ortega. Technical certificate, process mechanic painter, Alicia Clayton. Technical certificate, process mechanic painter, Andrea Lathram. Technical certificate, process mechanic painter, Megan Barnett. Technical certificate, process mechanic painter, Ngangla Bertrand Asobo. Technical certificate, process mechanic painter, David Cabella. Technical certificate, process mechanic painter, Christopher Holman. Associate of Applied Science, Machining Technology, and Technical Certificate, Manual Machining, Shun Win. Associate of Applied Science, Machining Technology, Isaac Gallegos. Associate of Applied Science, Machining Technology, and Technical Certificate Welding, David Tomas. Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Power Plant, Bronze Medal, Skills USA, Foster Fredrickson. Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Power Plant, Chase Martin. Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Power Plant, Kyler Hawk. Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Power Plant, Jack Griffiths. Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Power Plant, Jacob Smart. Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Airframe and Power Plant, Marquise Williams. Associate of Applied Science, Aviation Maintenance Technology, and Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Power Plant, Gabriel Shetler. Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Airframe and Power Plant, Jeffrey Trowbridge, Jr. Aviation Maintenance Technology, Airframe and Power Plant, Technical Certificate, Michael Ritter. Associate of Applied Science, Aviation Maintenance Technology, and Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Airframe and Power Plant, Ryan Etheridge. Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Airframe and Power Plant, Jermaine Monk. Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Airframe and Power Plant, Bryant Stuck. Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Airframe and Power Plant, Evan Amos. Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Airframe, Joseph Varientos. Associate of Applied Science, Aviation Maintenance Technology, and Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Airframe and Power Plant, Nolan Callison. Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Airframe and Power Plant, Jose Emparan. Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Airframe and Power Plant, Lisa Montoya. Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Airframe, Ethan D'Angelo. Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Power Plant, Jamie Rodriguez. Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Power Plant, Johan Sinclair. Technical Certificate, Aviation Maintenance Technology, Power Plant, Jordan Wilson. Technical Certificate, Assembly Mechanic, Andres Granados. Technical Certificate, Aviation Sheet Metal Assembly, Jacqueline Aguilera. Technical Certificate, Aviation Sheet Metal Assembly, Javier Arguelles. Technical Certificate, Aviation Sheet Metal Assembly, Ignacio Salas. Technical Certificate, Aviation Sheet Metal Assembly, Manuel Dominguez. Technical Certificate, Aviation Sheet Metal Assembly, Brianna Hughes. Technical Certificate, Aviation Sheet Metal Assembly and Carpentry Introduction, Ivan Batchman. Technical Certificate, Aviation Sheet Metal Assembly, Eric Slater. Technical Certificate, Aviation Sheet Metal Assembly, Jocelyn Limas Flores. Technical Certificate, Aviation Sheet Metal Assembly, Christian Morga. Technical Certificate, Aviation Sheet Metal Assembly, Jose Alvarado. Technical Certificate, Aviation Sheet Metal Assembly, John Michael. Technical Certificate, Aviation Sheet Metal Assembly, Mary Jane Lake. Technical Certificate, Aviation Sheet Metal Assembly, Eric Drinkwater. What program? What program? Technical Certificate, Aviation Sheet Metal Assembly, Patrick Belisle. Technical Certificate, Composite Fabrication Technology, Barbara Keiss. Technical Certificate, Composite Fabrication Technology, Terrence McDaniel. Technical Certificate, Composite Fabrication Technology, Zachary Martin. Technical Certificate, Composite Fabrication Technology, Josue Meza. Technical Certificate, Aviation Sheet Metal Assembly and Composite Fabrication Technology, Brandon Wells. Technical Certificate, Composite Fabrication Technology, Marquel Thomas. Technical Certificate, Composite Fabrication Technology, Joseph Buckley. Associate of Applied Science, Composite Technology, Philip Smith. Technical Certificate, Composite Repair Technology, Katrina Terry. Technical Certificate, Composite Fabrication Technology, Marissa Morales. Technical Certificate, Composite Fabrication Technology, Denisa Dietrich. Technical Certificate, Composite Fabrication Technology, April McVeigh. Technical Certificate, Composite Fabrication Technology and Process Mechanic Painter, Daniel Esguerra. Technical Certificate, Non-Destructive Testing, Jesus Berumen.
So wow, what an evening. I love graduation. I love commencement. There is no better night in the academic year for me than tonight. I love to celebrate students. I love to celebrate your success. I love your family and friends are here cheering you on. Let's cheer them on one more time. One more time. I want to thank my dear friend and someone that I love to work with, Shelley Pritchard, for being here tonight and being our graduation speaker. I want to thank everyone for coming tonight and celebrating this time with these graduates. So graduates, you're getting ready to leave WSU Tech, and we really want to thank you for choosing us to continue your education, to start your education, wherever you're at on that continuum. Thank you for choosing WSU Tech. We love having you as students, and we know that you're going to go out in this world and you're going to do amazing things. You're going to continue your education and build on that. You're going to go to the workplace, and you're going to do all kinds of things. Take care of people, build planes, fix computers. I mean, all kinds of things you're going to do. You will make this world a better place because of the time and effort that you have put in. But we want you to know that we want to be with you throughout your career and the rest of your life. So I'm really happy to announce tonight that we have formed the college's very first, you're the first year, WSU Tech Alumni Association. So as you received your degrees tonight, you also received a free year's membership as the charter members of WSU Tech Alumni Association. And so we urge you to stay connected with us. There'll be some special things that you'll be able to do with this, and you'll get more information in the mail about that. And when you fill out that card they gave you tonight, then you'll get all of the benefits and the bonuses and things like that, because we really do want to stay connected with you. We feel like that we're a part of what you have done, and we know that you're going to go on into the world and into this city and into this community, and we're proud of you. So, with that, graduates, would you please rise? You may now move your tassel from the right to the left. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you the class of 2019.